Okay.
So yeah, today we're gonna learn how to draw. It's going to be kind of based on how you do life drawing, but instead of naked people, we're gonna use objects like the one on the TV here.
But if we wanted to do naked people, could we?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Oh.
I'm just not gonna get naked for you because I'm on a live stream on YouTube right now. You're on YouTube. Yeah, we can do a naked Zoom in. So you could do naked people if you want to continue drawing after this lesson is over. But yeah, so basically it's a lot of mileage and a lot of trying to do a drawing as quickly as you can to kind of turn off your brain.
Curtis, why are you topless?
I just showered and I just heard what you guys said. This is ironic.
Oh, he's gonna be the model.
But yeah, so a lot of it comes down to just mileage and drawing over and over and over again, because it's kind of based on drawing what you actually see versus what you think you see. That's where just kind of turning up your brain and allowing it to draw what you're seeing in front of you happen. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do a few sessions where we'll just do like a 30-second draw, and whatever you choose to draw, try to draw it in 30 seconds, get as much detail as you can. And then I'll share a few techniques for improving your drawing, and then we'll do a few more 30-second draws and see if they help. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hey, I got a quick question, Jaden.
Yeah.
What is your background in drawing so we can bash your credibility when we suck?
Yeah, I want to know.
So my background in drawing, in university, I went for a minor in visual arts, and then I finished my major in environmental science and realized it was going to be a full another year to do like the 2 courses I needed to finish my minor, so I decided to say fuck it. So I have 3/4 of a minor in visual arts.
That's really cool.
I actually put that on my resume, and it's a negative.
No shit.
So yeah, a lot of this is going to be based off of how we would do our learning to do 2D visual art in the courses that I took through university. So I have, I don't know, probably like 10 different 2D visual arts courses. We're just going to rip them off. So yeah, who has their object ready? And just looking at the object on the TV here, so that's our coyote skull. And I just have a single point of light on one side because that makes the shading really easy. Because you can see that this side is nicely lit up and that side's pretty dark. When you're trying to figure out the shadows, it makes it easy for you. If you're learning to draw, a single point light source like this will make it a lot easier. But obviously the things you're going to want to draw aren't like that. So you kind of have to pull these techniques and modify them for yourself later. So does everyone have something they want to draw already?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I do.
Okay.
Let's do a 30-second timer. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh God, it's happening. Okay.
This is not going well. Oh God.
Try not to look at your
Something
face too much.
easier.
Try to look at your object as much as you can.
I just can't do straight lines.
Don't worry about it. Who cares?
Me?
Then only draw curved objects, Eric.
Okay.
Okay, there's 30 seconds.
What?
Nailed it.
It's quick. You just want to do a quick drawing as much as you can get. So what do you guys all get? Let's see. Yeah, see, you got a bit of a skull. These guys have a bit of a whiteboard. They're drawing a TV. Riley's drawing a bookshelf, so just a rectangle.
You'll never be able to see mine because it's so light. It's a bottle. There's no way I'll be able to see it. God, it's okay.
Oh, Cheryl's is good.
Yeah, Cheryl's got a mouse. Great.
Wait, let's see yours, Shay.
Hey, what happened? Oh, whoops. Oh, my camera probably overheated and had to turn off.
Hey, look.
I did a bottle. I can't see what happened. Okay, listen up a bit. Oh my God, Sam! Yeah. Whoa, my hair. Hello.
Oh, the
Hello.
just be right back. I'm just getting a fresh battery.
It won't keep on drawing.
Shay, let's see.
30-second draw.
Shay, I want to see your drawing.
Well, it's can't, it's really hard to see. It's like, wait. It's a water bottle.
It's better than my phone. You see my phone? It's awful.
That's not bad, baby.
The single point light source didn't help.
Can you
Single
make it
light
better
is
now?
not gonna make you be able to draw. Just make it easy to draw.
Okay. So now that we've had our chance to draw, everyone can put down this next drawing if they started one.
You're not gonna let us finish it?
Yeah.
What?
You have 30
Move
seconds. What
fast.
do you want? You're trying to get down as much info as you can. In art, it's called a gist. And it's like, imagine you're seeing someone walk down the street and you just like kind of how they look and how they're moving. You're trying to get them in that moment. So you're not trying to get much detail. You're just getting like, for a person, if they're walking, you might only get something that looks kind of like this. And that way you can go back to it later. Does everyone kind of see that on the board? I could thicken it up if you want. But this might be all you get of a person. And that's all you're trying to do to like post your memory, to remember what you're, what you're doing. And you get home later, and if you're half decent at drawing people, then you can use that and be like, oh, they're walking in this direction, they're arm forward. It's just enough to kind of jog your memory. And that's what you're aiming to get in 30 seconds. It's like start with something like this, and then move on to whatever else you can get. Does that make sense?
Did you say we're supposed to look at the object as much as possible or the paper?
Object. Yeah. So yeah, that's called a gist, and it's just the quickest thing you can get onto the paper, starting with like the big details and going smaller with whatever you have until you run out of time. Something else that we can try just for our next 30-second sketch, it's the idea of negative space. Has anyone ever heard of that before?
Does Lord have ever seen life?
Yes.
This is the not filled in.
Yeah, it is the space that's not filled in. So like you can see on the skull here, around the eye, there's a space that's got nothing there, right? Or this hole here in the skull. It's also got nothing here, or like this side along the edge. That's an example of negative space because there's nothing actually there. But if you make that thing that shape, then the skull also has to work out. Because you have the positive space, which is the actual skull, which is a shape that's very easy to recognize. Then the negative shape is the outline of the skull, which if you make both of them line up as far as the angles and stuff like that, then your drawing should work. So another example might be like, if I'm holding my arm up like this, the negative space is this kind of triangle inside the hole. So that's something that you might be looking to try and match the angle of my elbow, the angle of my neck, my shoulder, the angle of my hand, my head. There's all things to look at when you're trying to figure out negative space.
Sometimes I find negative space easier, right? Because sometimes you just have to draw a shape
Yeah.
instead of having to draw these different like angles and shit.
Yeah.
So like your arm is like a really good example. You draw the shape.
Yeah, you just throw a triangle down, and that's enough to get you a good start. So how about we do another 30-second draw? This time, use your object, try to get a gist, and think about negative space. Is everyone ready?
No. Yes.
30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, there's 30 seconds.
Stop.
That was worth in the first 30 seconds.
The first 30 seconds actually forgot to set a timer, so just made it up.
I think mine's better, but it looks like a dick. You see it?
Alright.
I can see it.
Who
That
see it?
was really better.
What are you drawing?
Okay, fuck off.
Yeah,
What
just
are you
look it down.
I
doing?
can't really see it.
Yeah, you can kind of see mine. Like you can get, there's some teeth, there's an eye, there's like the hole in the side. But based on that, if I might be able to get a half decent skull sometime later.
Yeah, you can see it starting to take shape.
You can see a really dirty quick one, right? There's some teeth.
Yeah.
The position is
I
kind
did
of
the
okay.
chords this time, so it had negative shape.
That looks like a dick.
Everyone's just trying to.
Everyone's just trying to.
I mean, it is what we probably will have the most practice drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I drew
Phil
a
used
bunny.
to scratch it onto the desk at work. and
Let's see, Curtis.
Or
Yeah, what do you got,
this is drawn
Curtis?
by Riley.
Oh, it's a little bunny.
I like it. I like it.
I can't see- actually,
Wow.
Way better than my my phone.
Eight plus tricks, good, that's pretty cool.
That's good.
Okay, so for the next tip, so we have negative space. We have getting a gist, which is starting simple and then getting more complicated the more time you have. And for the next trick, it's figuring out your angles when you're looking at a drawing. So what I like to do is that I'll hold my pencil out and get an angle of something and then try to match that on my page. So for an example, if we're looking at the skull, you can see it on the TV. You match like the angle of the teeth or something, or the side of the head there. Oh, hard to do that. But you can see that that angle right there works out when you line the pencil with it, and then you can take that angle and translate it to the TV or to whatever you're drawing on. Or you can take the angle of like the top up here, and then translate it to whatever you're drawing on. So you basically just hold it at arm's length, turn it until it lines up with whatever. So hold it at arm's length, turn it until it lines up with whatever you're trying to draw as far as an angle, and then try to hold it there and move it to your surface. Does that make sense?
That's smart.
So should we do another 30-second there, see if that improves it?
I've already
Maybe
started.
only 45?
45, sure.
It's like a
Whoa.
delayed sneeze. Where it cuts off. You're like, oh, I was just getting it.
Okay. 45. Go.
Oh, this is coming together.
My object is too straight.
You can pick a new one.
Too late. Too late!
That's too
She's
late.
committed.
Too late. Okay, my object's gone. Come on, do this one.
Okay, there's 45 seconds. So how did everyone turn out this time with the 45-second one? Using measuring, using negative space.
Better.
I'm way better. Look at this. It's not good, but it's.
I drew a more square one.
Look at that. It could be in a cartoon
Mine all looks the same.
compared to that.
That's pretty good.
That's
Well,
the
show
fun.
yours really looks like a dick.
Yeah.
I've just pulled it up on my phone.
What's your object,
Oh,
Cheryl? Can we
wow.
see it?
Lucas, I want to see yours.
On the
Oh, it's
mouse.
it's the mouse. I thought you were talking
What do you mean?
Not a,
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Look at him.
right. I didn't do this trick really, but it got me at least to think more about what angles I was really dealing with. It's
Right?
like the 45. I don't have time to do that shit, but thought about it more.
That's definitely good. That's an improvement.
Good
Time is
job.
valuable when you only have 45 seconds.
Right?
Really good honest review, too.
Can someone accept my mom in?
All right.
Your beard's looking great.
Thanks. I'm going full apocalypse. No haircuts or beards, so this is
Well,
over.
you brushed it today. It's looking good.
The person there, a wrecking ball.
Yeah. Okay, so for the next trick to think about using larger shapes when you look at your objects. So like if we're looking at an arm, sure it might be like an arm or whatever, but you can see it as like a cylinder here, a bunch of small cylinders for the fingers, and then like kind of a big shape for the palm. So like if you're trying to draw an arm like that, you might have a cylinder here for the arm, a cylinder here for the rest of the arm, kind of like a
I think a
rhombus.
more complicated object.
It'll definitely make it more challenging. Yeah.
Ooh, fuck them.
But you can kind of see how it's just like loose shapes. So that kind of makes it easier to define something if you're not exactly sure how to put it together. So like looking at the raccoon skull, you have teeth, which are shaped. The whole thing is kind of a spear-ish or a rhombus. You have like circles there that you could start with.
Did you just take a picture of it?
The camera also will turn off.
Do you want me to grab my camera?
But yeah, there's all sorts of different smaller shapes that you can work with within that skull that you can use to make your life easier.
I see it. I'm seeing the
You
shapes.
see the shapes speaking to you.
No, they're not,
Pretty
even though they're a
strong
telephone.
Okay,
Is that the standard way to draw? Like, obviously, when you see people sketch like for animations or like bodies and faces and animations, like you usually see like the crossing the whole and shit like that. Is that pretty standard?
yeah. So like for a face, like you said, you might do the shape of like this shape. You got the circle, pretty easy. The eyes are generally around there, and the nose is generally around here. Eyes are in the middle. Nose is in the front. Face that lines up with like the corner of the eyes. You know, so that's an example of a shape. You throw ears on it, and like a hairline somewhere up here. And that's kind of using shapes to make a face. But yeah, that would be definitely how you start an animation. You're trying to figure out where the person's looking before you actually put in the detail. You'd use something like that, or you just use looser shapes. Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
All right, you want to try one using gists, using the angle finder, negative space shapes.
Can we get a minute this time?
We can get a minute, sure.
Because we got to do each, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to try each thing. How about we do a minute 30 to make it even easier?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes, please.
Okay,
That's
ready?
easy.
3, 2, 1, go.
Ah!
And remember, try not to look at your page. Look at your object.
They're in a state. Oh no. This is a terrible argument for me.
What is it?
This, the water bottle,
Goes on their head.
it does, but it's like the dumbest thing to draw. It has like not really any shape to it, so it's like it's like a rectangle.
You can put a light down and see if you can get its shadow too.
But then it's a whoa, got a light. Whoa, got a really bright light. Whoa. Oh my god, my cat. What the heck? Let's choose a different object.
Right, shapes made this worse.
Yeah, way worse.
What are you drawing?
The bookshelf. Not really a shade.
Okay, there's a minute.
That was a
30
minute and a half. Are you kidding?
to have that one turn out for people.
Better.
I thought the shapes were good.
Like the same and all of them.
I don't want to show it.
Come on, Eric. Let's see.
Let's see.
Nice shape.
Oh, I can
Look at my
see.
shapes. See, I have circles,
That one's pretty good.
kind of. That's as circle as I could draw.
That looks just like Jaden.
Yeah, he has the same circular torso.
Wow, Jaden's is pretty
Yeah, I was
good.
trying to go for a more V one, but it didn't work
Hurts
out.
because reading is.
Declan, why is your picture just a in Zoom just a
I think it comes from Google. That's my picture on Google.
Why can't we see you? I want to see your drawings.
Okay, so for another trick that we can try, it's measuring things how they are relative to other things. So an example, if you're looking at a person, might be how tall is their head versus the rest of their body. So like for me, if you're looking at me on the screen, here that my head is like one eraser width on your pencil or something. You check out the height of my head, and then you measure that many heights of my chest. Use that same length for my arms if you want, or you can use the same length for my torso width. And that way you can make sure that things are relative to other things, the same size. And that way you won't get like starting a skull or a person that's one size and the one side. And then by the time you're done, you realize that like one of their shoulders is like twice as big, or like, I don't know, cars that are just totally out of shape, out of whack. Having it all relative means that things are going to work out fairly well, especially just for these quick drawings where you're trying to get the spirit of it. What else?
I drew a Coke can. Wow.
Kate, do you have any other thoughts on ways to improve your technique?
No, it's already really great.
I got my Coke can. Mm.
Oh, I mean, you've already said it,
I
but
like
I always
the
get caught up on details.
Yeah.
Ignore details, right?
Yeah,
Like,
details always come last. Because the process when you're drawing, it's called gist, sketch, draw. So the gist is what we're doing right now. You have 30 seconds. You're trying to capture the character. Sketch is that you put in as many of the details as you think are necessary. And then draw is that you put it up to like professional quality or whatever you're considering your final project. So if you're doing steps of the draw during the gist, then you're probably wasting your time. You know? And if you're still trying to gist when you're thinking you should be drawing, then you also probably didn't finish your image well enough before you thought to put in the details. You really have to kind of put yourself through the process of like, are all my ratios good? Do all my negative space angles make sense? Is the shadows another thing that I forgot to mention. So with this, we did the single point light source, which makes it really easy because you can see that there's kind of like a line right in the middle where the shadow goes. And if we're looking at my image up here, if we just trace the shadow, we can see that it kind of goes up here and then follows that tooth, and then it cruises along the lip and kind of goes around the hole of the nose up there and touches, and then gets to the top. But then you can totally shade in most of that side. And then if you're using a pencil, you can erase small sections of it just to kind of like bring up details in the dark patch, and then use your pencil to add shadows in the light patch. And that way your shading is kind of already mostly done by the time you get around to it. So that's a benefit of using a material like a pencil or charcoal where you can undo things, is that you can shade an entire side and then take away sections to add the highlights or put highlights over top of it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's try one that's going to be another, let's do a 2-minute one.
Oh,
This better be good.
So we're going to do a 2-minute one. Don't do any shading until you feel like you got all your shapes right. But if you feel like you have your shapes right, try doing this technique and draw a line down the middle of your object to give it which side is shaded and which side is not. And then you can start doing your shading. But for the most part, focus on your angles, focus on your negative space. If you think that shapes help you with your certain object, then use shapes. Yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 2 minutes. Ooh. Okay, so it's 2 minutes.
Actually, don't believe it at all.
Yeah, that didn't go so smooth.
Yeah, the time goes by really fast.
Yeah.
All right, cards up. This is what I got. You like it? The left side worked out well. The left side worked out, and then the right side kind of just like got garbled.
Show that again, please.
Who, mine? Look at that.
Oh yeah.
That's so much a phone.
What is this? Sorry, I didn't. Oh, it's a phone.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at everyone's pictures, so okay, there we go. Yeah, I never saw it. Oh,
So Jason again?
Where's
Here's
yours,
my pen.
Declan? Can I see your? Oh, Shay's is good.
it's Ken, Shaylin.
Oh, Declan, yours worked pretty good.
And looks good too.
I started doing some shadow. I started doing some shadowing.
Nice.
Hey, Mom, where's yours?
God. That's my bunny.
You're muted on here. We can't hear you.
I think I'm doing this wrong because I'm doing the picture that Jaden put up on his screen.
Yeah, Declan is too. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just easier to do it in person.
Declan quite the one.
How can you even?
It's really hard.
It's really hard to.
Oh, we can't see it very well.
It's too hard.
I fell back on that.
I think it needs to be brighter to see it, Mom.
It's terrible.
And the screen was never really meant to be for you guys to draw. It was just to show examples of shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing beyond what we've talked about is actually putting a shadow down for your object. So with this one, there's quite a bit of shadow below the skull. It definitely helps make it more real. But you kind of just want to, like you can see there, you're looking at the point on the bottom of that skull where the shadow actually starts. And then you can totally just let it go from there. And it's just about paying attention to where you can actually see the shadow appearing. That'll really give it a 3D texture. And I think that getting a good shadow is what's going to give your image the most realism, the most like of a 3D element. So that's a thing that when you're doing your gist phase, you should really pay attention to your sketch phase. To give it the best ratios, the best like angle measurement you can. Because you can kind of picture if you were looking at something and it had a shadow, but the shadow didn't make sense, how much that would disorient you in real life, so how much it kind of takes away from the three-dimensionality in the 2D life. So we can do a few more sketches if you guys want, but that's about all the info I have on how to draw.
Okay, I'm gonna switch up my object. This isn't working. Mine's too hard. Here, Kate, you try this one. Can I have your object?
I didn't want to.
Yeah. And if you're training yourself to draw, a lot of it goes back to turning off your brain. Because like something you might look at, like if you can see my arm in the picture, it's coming towards you, and you know what an arm looks like. So you're kind of imagining the whole length of the arm within your head. At least that's what I used to do. But then when you see it coming towards you, there's just that tiny section here to here of arm. So that's where getting your actual angle of the arm right with the pencil measurement is really important. Because that way it turns off what you imagine an arm should be. And it just puts it down to like what you're actually seeing, what you're trying to depict.
That makes sense. Because your arm look like, yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking at it on this way, there's not actually that much width to it. It's just
None.
a tiny bit. And trying to figure out that cylinder just by imagining how an arm should look is going to be hard. So actually measuring the shape makes it easier.
Okay, I'm gonna try it with this.
Well, on top of the board.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I like it. Because you can really break that down to shapes.
Isn't
Not what the shape of the hand is, then what the shape, the triangle at the bottom.
don't animators always talk about how hands are the
It's one of
hardest?
the hardest things to draw.
Yeah, that's
Go
what I've
ahead now.
heard.
Go ahead.
But then ignore it as a hand, just look at it as the shape it is.
As a skeleton foot object. You guys
Yeah.
see what we're talking about?
You guys just wait. Hold on, wait. Let me see.
Focus. Nice.
Yeah. You guys want to do a 3-minute one?
Yes.
Okay. Ready? 3.
The same original object?
You it's easier if you choose a new, like it'll help if you choose a new object because you kind of get to use the same ideas and then reapply them. But yeah, if you're training yourself at home, it's really good to like take an object, set a 30-second timer, do 30 seconds, go, and then like turn on its side, 30 seconds, go, put it upside down, 30 seconds, go, step 2 feet to the left, 30 seconds, go, change the light, 30 seconds, go. That way it helps turn off your brain.
Cool, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, 3 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go.
What? Okay, I'm not supposed to.
Oh God. Okay, why'd you make me? Thanks. I should have drawn it bigger.
All right, there's our timer.
Yeah, that one didn't go well. I got ambitious.
I got ambitious as well. I changed up ideas. And it was, oh, Lucas, you did your hand too?
That's pretty good, Cheryl.
Whoa, Cheryl's hand's pretty good.
And Lucas, you guys have like a defined hand.
I mean,
Yours is good. I started trying to draw the veins and stuff, and that kind of went badly.
Yeah, I started to have shadow and stuff, which didn't really go so well. And then I got too like subtle detail.
guys, look how good mine is.
Wow, that's
Oh, nice, Glenda.
Yeah, that's actually very
pretty good.
clearly the foot thing, like probably the thing.
Eric, let's see yours.
Mom, let's see.
I'm a fan of paper to
Oh, fair enough. It's nice.
Oh, there you go. That's significantly better in mine.
This year.
You can tell it's a hand instead of just color.
Cool boat.
Oh, Declan, nice
Oh,
bow.
that's so detailed, Declan.
Didn't really
Oh,
really do any of
Isn't the perspective kind of off in the painting that you're trying to do? Like, I think you actually got the perspective better.
No, the picture's not good.
You found that painting on the road.
Oh,
I
no.
actually quite like it.
We jumped straight to the draw phase. We skipped the sketch and the gist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this guy right
I
here.
definitely got touched.
Hard not.
It was fun though.
And I mean, if you're having fun,
Details
that's
are
important.
Well, and you see success faster too.
I did hear someone mention that they were having a hard time with how small it was.
I drew something way too small.
Yeah, so like, there's if you're getting serious about drawing, if you go to an art store, they have something called newsprint. I don't have any around right now, but it's just really fine, cheap paper that you're not intending to keep. You're just using it for training, and like each sheet is like this big, and you use like each sheet like this for a 30-second drawing, and you just big motions with your arms makes it really easy versus trying to do less detailed small motions. So if you're using like your full body to draw, it's actually significantly easier to get something down in 30 seconds.
The classes, the still life classes, Jade knows so much more about this. We went to our fair share, and it's like 3 hours, and your head goes into this weird space, right? Like it's like meditation.
Yeah, you
Because you-
forget everything else, right?
Yeah, because you have to focus so hard on what you're doing. You're tired afterwards, but it feels really, really good.
Yeah, still life sessions, if you go to them, they'll kind of do what we're doing, where they start off and you do like, because it's a naked person in the middle of the room, and they'll do a pose and they'll time for 30 seconds, and they'll switch immediately, and it'll kind of be like there's not even time to do anything more than change to a new sheet of paper in between. So they'll do 30-second ones, they'll do like 20 of them, they're ripping off these drawings, and then you do like 10 1-minute ones, then you'll do like 5-minute ones, and then you'll do 2 10-minute ones. And by the time you're actually getting to the 10-minute drawings, your brain's in a totally different state. You end up with quite realistic people. Even if you weren't starting off with very realistic people, the process works really well. There's a studio on Main that you can go to. It's $15 for the 3-hour thing. Really great if you want to try it. Yeah.
Okay, I want to go again because that one I didn't do so good.
Okay, should we do like a 5-minute one just to end it off?
All right, I'm in.
3, 2, 1, go!
I'm gonna make dinner, but I'm still watching.
yeah, I'm doing something. I've got sidetracked, but I'm still listening and I want to see everyone's photos.
Playing with worms over Kevin.
I wish, Curtis, I wish. I'm honest to God, get it after this.
I'm sorry.
Ooh.
What's one?
Is anyone still into Dutch stuff?
Oh shit, yeah. Why not?
Follow up to that question? Or
Yeah.
just
That's it.
That's it. I was just curious.
Yeah, that checks out.
Hey, there's our 5-minute timer.
No way. Really?
Time flies, eh?
Yeah.
Eric, you always seem amazed when the timer goes on.
That felt like it was 2 minutes.
Check out this badass skull.
that's amazing.
Yeah, Jaden, yours went really well there.
Almost like Jaden, almost like mine.
You got
In 3 hours. But not
3
actually,
quarters,
just almost.
Riley.
I said almost.
I mean, I say we just send that picture to UBC and we let you guys fuck
Only
around.
the parts that matter.
Okay, I'm pretty happy with mine.
Fireplace.
Do you guys see mine? I
Oh,
did
the little one
goggles.
with- Oh, they look pretty good, Eric.
I think we can go to the fireplace.
The perspective, like the measuring, I was like, okay, this is double that and it's twice as high as that. So I did like a point there and then connected it by lines.
And it
Here,
works.
I'll show you
Like,
mine,
once you
Declan.
start up with a good foundation, you get a really easy kind of details. Cool.
Like it worked fairly
And you
well.
know when you've got it. You know
And
when
they're
you've got
better
the
in
line
real
work,
life, look.
that's it.
Yeah.
There's no like second guessing it.
That's cool. Nice job, like Curtis.
Oh, where's Curtis's?
Yeah, Riley got a bookshelf
I
again.
see where
Riley has 10 pictures of the same bookshelf, which suits her personality.
Brutal.
over and over until you get it right.
Oh,
That's the
Curtis,
best way.
nice
Yeah,
shadow.
that sounds about right, Kate. What's
Yeah.
wrong with that?
Wait, who did Gumby?
Charles on his tacos too.
Yes, I do.
That shadow looks legit.
Yeah. Something looks kind of 3D. Cool.
I brushed with my fingers.
Oh, Trixie.
Yes, son.
Mom, what's yours? Let's see.
Hey, I was freaking out the whole time because I changed my background and then I didn't know how to change it back. So I spent 5 minutes freaking out trying to get a.
Joy, Glenda, there's
Okay,
no-
let's see
there's
your
no shame
2
in
minutes.
Yeah.
I started to do mine like with 1 minute left, so that's good. I did that.
Oh, nice. That was pretty good.
I thought you colored it for a second. I was like, wow, that's realistic.
Yeah, there it is. That's it.
That's fun.
Cool.
Yay.
Woo!
Maybe we'll have a little evening when people can draw everyone when COVID's over.
Yeah. You can have one naked person.
Who's the naked model?
Jaden, obviously.
It's super interesting going to the life drawing too, because like there's no other time in your life where it's just like 20 people in a circle around a single naked man or woman.
And like, yeah, just like everything is very exposed.
Maybe
and it's
in your
kind
life.
of weird for the first 2 minutes. After that, you just forget about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's really interesting. I wonder why the penis is shaped like. How do I capture the shape of the penis?
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, 2 spheres in a cylinder. All right, let's go. Oh wait, that's a dick. Wow.
That's when shadows and angles really come into play, right?
Oh yeah.
Who would take that photo?
I don't know, it's just
Mine's
sizing.
like only a friend Declan.
You don't exaggerate too much.
Like, who agreed to do that?
Special photographer. So the Rolling Stones.
You don't see. You just see the art, not bodies.
All right, can we get a round of applause for Jaden?
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that was great.
Yay.
Very good.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye. See you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Curtis, too. That was an excellent intro to shotgunning.
Yeah, I've never had it explained to me, and now I feel like I can maybe do it.
I didn't know what the tipping up part. That was a good idea.
First unit done like I did before though, the first one.
I didn't even understand what you were doing. I just saw it spilling everywhere, and I was like, "What?"
Well, I pierced the can in the bottom,
And
and then I took the pot,
Yeah.
and knocked it and drank it from the top.
What the? That's what you did. I mean, what?
But there's a three in a row streak. I couldn't ruin it. 4 in a row. Here we go. I'll teach you how to do it right, but I'm not gonna do it right.
Oh yeah.
What I say.
What's
Well,
the bottle one? Have you guys seen that one?
Oh, the straw.
That one looks coolest.
Great.
Are you guys off?
yeah, I got really cool. I got big plans.
Lots to do.
Big plans.
I just have to write more emails telling kids to only email me between 9 and 3, and their little dicks are trying to call me at 7 p.m.
What?
And
What?
7 p.m. Really?
The third?
Yeah, and I have- Yeah, the 3rd graders. Yeah, and then one of them was sending me messages at midnight to 3 a.m.
Oh,
I'd be like, "Not today." No.
Yeah. And I emailed his mom, and she just doesn't respond to anything. And I'm like, cool, parenting your kid from a distance. This is fun.
Can you block him?
I can mute him, or I can continue to monitor it and take screenshots every single time and forward them to my friends. Won't say, hi, help, hi, help. Hi, help.
So
you're just deferring the problem to someone else?
Yeah, pretty much.
You send the screenshots at 3 a.m.?
Oh, when I find them at 8 a.m. They're like, here's the call log of everything I've missed.
Okay, I'm gonna end this YouTube thing. Goodbye, anyone who's still on YouTube.
Hit that sub button, like it.
Go smash that sub, ring the bell. See you next week, gamers.
Hey, I'm gonna eat something now, so I'm leaving.
Bye, Shay.
Bye. Thanks for coming, Shay.
Bye!
Hope you find your dad.